I have no idea what this thing is jutting up out of Yonge Street. It seems to be right in the middle, or at least near to the middle of Yonge. And this is the intersection of Yonge and Eglinton just up ahead.
Maybe I do.
And hello there. It is Wednesday, July 19th, 4:37 p.m. and about 23 degrees Celsius here at the intersection of Yonge and Eglinton in Midtown Toronto. And there is Eglinton Station just across the street. And a look up at some of the towers here. And this intersection has been a never-ending rat's maze of construction. There you can see a couple of geniuses stuck in the middle of the intersection. But of course the police are down ticketing cyclists at Yonge and Dundas rather than all these vehicles that constantly get stuck in the middle of intersections. Anywho, for this one, I'm going to walk north up Eglinton, up just past Lawrence Station. I'll pop into Lawrence Station just past Lawrence Avenue. Let these geniuses get out of the way. And I just finished recording a walk that went up Bayview Leaside side. All right. Well, these benches here clearly belong to the pigeons. Yikes. This is as bad as I have seen them. So this walk should be about 2.5 kilometers or so. It's kind of a nice day. It's not too hot, there's a nice breeze. A lot of construction to bask in. All of this should have been cleared up years ago. Oh, there's a Lambo. And this is north up the east side of Yonge Street. There's one of the better pubs in the area, the Duke of Kent. And this whole area was a patio the last few years. And across the street there, stretching down to the intersection of Yonge and Eglinton, is the Yonge Eglinton Center. And this intersection is always a bit confusing for everyone, as you can see. One impatient Beamer driver honking and overtaking another one who's just being careful. And if you're familiar with the channel, you might know that this is the neighborhood where I live.
Or like this side. Like
I've been here since 2014. And if I were to pick my favorite building in the neighborhood, it would be this one. Not for any architectural reasons, but because what it houses, it has an absolute comedy in the basement. Probably the neighborhood's best pub, the Rosencrown, which has been there forever. And a Pai Northern Thai restaurant. That is excellent. If the developers come knocking on the doors of that building owner, it'll certainly be a sad day. And that's what's happened, I believe, where this Shoppers Drug Mart is. And that is a huge Shoppers Drug Mart. And no, you're not seeing things. That's another Dollarama over on that side of the street. And that used to be an excellent retail plaza. They lost some neat bars and restaurants and some unique retailers. And that was cleared out to make way for that new condo. There's the old Postal Station K. That place stock. If you want to get up on the rooftop, you're going to have to reserve it pretty early. It's a rather happening spot. And this place, Grazie, has been a mainstay of the neighborhood for quite a while. It's an Italian restaurant, but in my opinion, there's a much better and less expensive one right around the corner here. It is Sip Wine Bar. I believe it is closed for the next week or so. I think the owners are off on vacation, but that would get my vote. There's a Jollibee, a Filipino fast food chain. I kind of swore off that location when I ordered a chicken burger combo. I went home and in my bag there were fries and I had my drink, but there was no burger. Maybe I should have checked it before I left. But you just kind of assume what you ordered is in there. There's another Italian restaurant called La Vecchia just on the right that I've been to. It's pretty good. And they have a monster patio set up. The city has made it much harder for businesses to set up their sidewalk patios this year. But it's good to see they persisted with it. And it looks pretty well done. And there used to be a popular bar and jazz club called Alley Cats. This whole area used to have the young and eligible moniker applied to it. And I think about 10, 15 years ago, it was a little more fun than it is now, at least from a nighttime perspective. There's Alley Cats and Filthy McNasties and some other places that have since closed. And there used to be an excellent food truck called Home Appliances that would be in that parking lot that seems to no longer be there. And speaking of Italian restaurants, right across the street is a Cibo. I went there 2 weeks ago. They've got a location in Yorkville and another one on King West. Where this Goa salon is used to be Salon Afif, and that's where I used to go. I switched briefly to a place called Momo, but I've started going here. It's $35 for a men's cut and wash. They've always done a good job, and you can book it online, and you can even choose your stylist and the time online. And given that it's so close to home and it's relatively affordable, they've sort of won me over.
I don't know what it's
And across the street used to be the old Capitol Theater. That dates back to the early 1900s. And it eventually became a famous players-run movie theater, and then in the 90s they played second-run movies. I think it closed up in 98 and became a private event venue. Now they've kind of just preserved the facade, and it's turning into a condo.
Oh, you are going there? So what?
The density on either side of Yonge Street kind of thins out the further north I go. And the pedestrian activity thins out as well. This used to be a sport check on the right.
Yeah, there is one table which is like all white chairs.
There's another big patio going in. And a small one for Luis Placido, who makes some excellent pizzas. There's a Lululemon across the street. I've ordered from Stormtide before. That place is pretty good. As that Dodge Neon hammers the gas to make it through the red light. That Jeep has a winch on the front. Oops, sorry. Yeah. Camera ended up taking a dip there. I guess people just like to race through that intersection. So as you can see, the pedestrian activity along here has really died down compared to where I was about 5 minutes ago. Live music Thursdays at the St. Clement's Young Parquette. That's just down the street from here. There's an A&W. I used to frequent there. I'd often come here for breakfast. They haven't had any good coupons on their website for what feels like a very long time. There's someone on an electric unicycle. Oh, this is new. A Value Village is moving in. Oh, they call it a boutique now. They're probably hinting that it'll be more expensive than what we're used to. Sporting Life. We used to have another location just south of here at Yonge and Castlefield that specialized in skis and bikes. And that closed up during the pandemic and they merged everything into this store. It's kind of like a high-end sports department store, or higher end. There's a Roots across the street, which I've always found kind of curious. That strikes me as more of a high volume kind of retailer. This area doesn't have a lot of foot traffic, being this far north of Yonge or Eglinton. I am kind of out of it. Yes, great driving. That Domino's used to be a Subway sandwich. I'm kind of glad it's a Domino's now. That's the one that delivers to me. Something smelled really good when I walked by there. A smaller barber shop. So this street coming up is Glencairn, and I've always found it kind of curious that on the west side between Eglinton West Station and Lawrence West Station, there's a stop called Glencairn. But over here in the much busier Yonge line, in a much busier area on Yonge Street, there is no Glencairn East stop. Not sure how there came to be a Glencairn West, but no Glencairn at Yonge. But the last few cars I've rented have come from that place, that Avis budget. I've got a few rentals booked for there. Got one coming up in August. And another one over Christmas. So things are going to get a bit quieter. I guess in the eyes of some nicer until I get to Lawrence. We'll be walking by the Alexander Moyer Gardens. This is Glengrove Avenue. I wonder what the rent is in these buildings. $7 daily maximum for 12 hours. $2 for each half hour or less. Lawrence Park is coming up on the right. The park itself, as well as one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the city. This will lead you down into the lawn bowling and croquet club on the right. Let's spice things up and cut through here. It's a bit of a nice shaded oasis. And you can cut into the Memorial Gardens just over there. I've been through there in a few videos and a somewhat recent live stream. And this is an old ravine I'm walking over. It cuts right through here. The stream is buried under Yonge Street. Here's a look into Lawrence Park. All right, I'm gonna cross over to the west side and get back into the shade. You see one of these signs, if you don't press the button, you will not get a pedestrian crossing signal. It's much nicer over here. Apartment rentals at Capri.ca. C-A-P-R-E-I-T. believe that's one of the realty conglomerates that owns a number of buildings in the city. I'm sure their CEO is good friends with our Premier Dougie. There goes the 97 bus that supplements the subway on Yonge Street. It's the Church of the Blessed Sacrament. Or would you say Blessed Sacrament? And this is Lawrence Avenue coming up. And I've mentioned it before, but the sign here for Luke's or Lux Orthodontics always reminds me of a Greek restaurant for some reason. The George H. Locke Memorial Library branch is over there on the southeast corner of Yonge and Lawrence. And welcome to Yonge-Lawrence Village. And this on the left used to be a very busy Starbucks. That shut down during the pandemic. So what I'll do is I'll head north up to the most northern entrance to the subway. There's an entrance to Lawrence Station just here on the left, and another one over on the other side of the street. And the battery meter on this camera is almost all the way out. Let's see if I can get into the station before it runs down. And this Dollarama is new. I've got about 20 minutes before I have to tap back into the subway. I'm on a 2-hour transfer window. There's a real estate / cafe across the street, or a real estate office called Brewing Brothers. Apparently it's been quite successful. And this is Bedford Park Avenue. And I will duck into the subway here. I don't think people are supposed to squeeze through that spot, but oh well, I did it. So I'll be taking the train south for one stop down to Eglinton. Free transfer 539. Is she gonna make it? She did. But sadly, I did not. I guess I didn't even give that one the old college try. But anywho, I'm gonna sit down and give my legs a break. I've been walking non-stop for 2 videos in a row here. So I hope you enjoyed this one, heading north up Yonge Street from Yonge Eglinton up to just north of Yonge and Lawrence. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do on YouTube, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I have an Instagram and Threads account at Johnny Strides. Let this train roll in. And there is a super thanks button down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Anywho, thank you for watching. I'm sure it's very loud right now, but I will catch you in the next one. Yoink.